Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful day out here in West Vancouver. I'm here on the West Van Sea Walk. I was going for a walk and I thought I will make a video while I'm walking, but apparently that doesn't work because I get too out of breath and I'm like which doesn't help much on the video. Anyway, so in today's video I want to talk once again about the South African Institute of Canada and the why behind it and where we are at with it. You know, it is it's something that's very important to me. Now, I know that some of you have seen videos about it before, and those of you that are subscribed to my newsletter, P.S. those of you that are not subscribed, the link is in the description below. Those of you that are subscribed to the newsletter also knows what's happening with the South African Institute of Canada. But anyway, so here goes. The reason we created the South African Institute of Canada, or the single goal of the South African Institute of Canada, is to help South African expats settle and fit into Canadian society quicker. And how do we aim to do that? Well, you know, the reality is that when I arrived here, well, let me take a step back actually. You know, when I was in South Africa, I was there for like 50 odd years before we started traveling. And over those 50 years, I built up an enormous network. We sometimes don't appreciate what we have as far as networks goes. You know, in South Africa, you could ask me anything, and if I didn't know, I could pick up the phone and phone somebody that did know, or that could help, or that could find the thing. It was amazing. I mean, we take it for granted, and we just like, oh, I need to find a giant generator for tomorrow, and I'll pick up the phone and phone a couple of mates, and bam, I have it. Now we're sitting on the other side of the world, and we have a non-existing network. My South African network doesn't help me over here. And there's just so much information that we need to assimilate, or that we need to learn, and that we need to get used to, that is not just simple and straightforward. You know, simple little things. When we arrived here in Canada the first year, we had an accountant that did our personal taxes. She charged us $1,200 to do our taxes. The next year I did it myself for like 20 bucks online. It's just like, you can do it yourself, it's not that hard, but you know, people will take advantage. So that's what we want to try and do, is we want to try and speed up or short circuit the networking out here in Canada and help the expats that arrive here to build a network quicker. And do it also with people that we know, with a culture that we understand, because you know what, it is slightly different sometimes. But anyway, and there's a couple of ways. Also, obviously, to have all of the relevant information in a way that us as South Africans, or expat South Africans, can understand it in one single source of truth place, where if you want to know something, you can go there. If you arrive here, there's a checklist. These are the things that you need to do. I mean, there are so many things that we can do to help Safas out that arrive here. And that's the goal of the South African Institute. Now, we've been going since the beginning of November. It's almost a month. What's it, 3 weeks? And the ladies have already done amazing things. We've got a bunch of volunteers that's jumped on board. One of the things we are doing right now is when we have South Africans throughout Canada that are wanting to do an event or host an event, because there's lots of South African communities throughout the country. And these communities often want to do events, but like, you know, when I did the Boerewors Roll Day, there's a whole lot of paperwork, and it's actually sometimes a little scary. You look at it and you go, oh my gosh, I almost didn't do that event, because I looked at it and I'm like, oh shit, I need to go to Vancouver Coastal Health, I need to get approval from there, I need to get approval from the West Van Council, and I have to do all of these things, and it looks like a mountain because I don't know how to do them. And then when I actually did them, I figured out it wasn't that hard. As long as you follow the rules and you do follow the steps, it works. So one of the things we're wanting to do, and that we've already spoken to a bunch of South Africans throughout the country about, is that we've got somebody, Bram, who's brilliant at rules and regulations and making sure that things work. And he is going to go through and do all the research and put it all there. So if you are a South African and you want to host an event for your community and you need some help with the paperwork, you can reach out to us and we will assist with that. So because, you know, since we've already done it and we've got people that know how to, we can help you out with the paperwork. So that's just one of the things, just to help South Africans that want to do events to do it the right way and have the correct paperwork in place without having to spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure it out. Then, of course, there's also the business directories, the directories of where you can get your South African goodies online, anything that you want, you know, our Old Gold tomato sauce and Oma biscuit and biltong and things like that. Where can you find those little comfort foods from home? So a full directory of where you can find all of that in Canada. And then, of course, a directory of Canadian businesses. And this is more where the networking part comes in, so that you can go in there, or not Canadian businesses, South African businesses in Canada. So you can jump on the directory and you can go see, oh, I need to find an insurance agent. Here's a couple of South African insurance agents. And why would I support a South African insurance agent? Well, number one, because that person can probably explain the insurance to me in a way that makes sense compared to what I was used to. You know, it's not just that we only want to support South Africans, it's just that we understand where we come from and we understand the concepts a little bit better. You know, it's easier to explain. So things like that, all of the South African businesses out here, and also there's nothing wrong with supporting other South African businesses, by the way. And then, of course, you know, there's also about connections, just connecting people. I mean, the ladies have done, Lewis has done an amazing job. We've been going for, what's it now, 3 weeks as the South African Institute. And over those 3 weeks, she's connected with a whole bunch of volunteers that are helping out with everything from graphic design. And there's too many to name right here. We will do a video and thank everybody. But there's some amazing people working on this and making it happen. One of the things that they launched, one of the programs that they launched is the Holiday Host Family Program. Because, you know, oftentimes when you are new in Canada and it's snowy and it's cold and it's your first winter and your first Christmas, you're far away, you don't know anybody, it's hard, very, very hard. So we've launched a Host Family program in the newsletter. Once again, the link to the subscribe is in the description. We launched a Host Family program. And what it is people that's been here for a long time, they are host families and they put their name down. And if there's anybody new that's moved into their area, they just, we just connect them, you know, just so that if it is Christmas and people are feeling lonely, they can actually hang out with another South African and hear some accent and maybe have a braai, or even if it's just a coffee or a boerie or just a little bit of advice on where to go, what to do. I mean, it's just to be there for somebody. You know, it's the first time, for a lot of people, it's the first Christmas away on the other side of the planet from South Africa. So I think it's an amazing, amazing program. And if you guys are out there, anybody watches this video, if you want to be a host family, you can email Lewis. There's more information. I want to say on our website, but our website is still busy happening, so probably the best to go to our newsletter. There's one that you can click on that has Lewis's email address, and I'll put it at the bottom of this video as well. So yeah, if you're a host family or if you're new in Canada and you know want to connect with other South Africans in your neighborhood or people that's been there for a while, reach out to Lewis. They're busy organizing it all. And it's just about having those connections. It's just about being there for somebody else as well, you know. It's amazing. Anyway, for the rest, how's the whole thing coming along? It's coming along really, really well. The one thing that we are really struggling with at the moment, or that's running a little bit behind schedule, is the website, because I'm in charge of that and I've got a whole bunch of other things I'm busy with. So we're busy designing the website. It is getting there. Slowly but certainly we will have it up in hopefully in the next 2 weeks. There's also a lot of paperwork, registrations, and a lot of learning to do, because, you know, it's a non-profit organization, and now we need to decide whether we want to make it a charity as well, and then we need to decide whether we need to start, So it's a federal non-profit, so we can work throughout Canada. But in Canada, apparently it works slightly different. You've got a federal non-profit, which is great, but if you want to operate in British Columbia, you have to register here as well. And you have to go and register in every other province that you are going to be operating in. So in other words, as a federal non-profit, we basically have to register the NPO in each of the provinces of Canada. So That's a lot of paperwork, and of course, you know, every province charges you a fee, so that's also a fun part. But we are getting there, we are working our way through it, and it is coming together very nicely. So if there's any of you out there, oh, let me not fall across over these rocks. If there's any of you out there that can be of assistance, please reach out to me or reach out to Lois. We're building the website in Elementor, on WordPress, on Crockablock, Elementor, WordPress. So if there are any specialists out there that feels like volunteering and knows that, you can do that. If there's UI guys, well, yeah, any which way. The project is coming along very nicely, and I think it's going to be amazing. And we really have some really big dreams. So watch this space and have an absolutely beautiful day. Cheers.